Let's fight. Welcome in the ring to each and every one of you. Mr. Bear, good to have all of you on the live this evening. Share the live, smash the emoji. You know how it is sometimes. You know how it is sometimes. Ringing the bell twice for those of you who may have missed the first one. Good to have all of you in the ring. It's Monday, folks. Monday, the second day of December already. It's gone. If you missed it, you missed it. It's gone, folks. It's gone. It's gone. Maybe we'll pull it back for some of you. Welcome in the ring, folks. We hope you had a good weekend. We spent part of the day outside. Great to have Siobhan here and Wayne Cosnu and Jason Adams. Just a few of the wonderful folks who've dropped by this evening, who have stopped by. And we are happy that you wonderful, lovely folks are here with us. Would have it no other way. Welcome in the ring, folks. Share that live for us. Smash that emoji button for us, folks. Pace and power, boots on the ground. Happy, 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 happy and delighted to have all of you with us, folks. Each and every one of you. Pace, 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 pace and power. Share the live because once we get started, folks, that's it. That's it. Once we get started, happy, happy and delighted to have each and every one of you with us, good folks. Lynette Dog, good to have you here, Lynette. How are you doing? Diane, great to have Diane as well. And Andrew Griffith, of course, one of the folks who helps us tremendously. Andrew Griffith. Who else with us this evening? Good to have all of you. We just ensure that we share to all of the credible and valid places. And watching at some of you come in. Licia, Simon Griffith, all the Griffiths out tonight. Osmond Hodge, any relation? Licia and Andrew, Colin Reese, good to have you. Sudhari Subchand is Colin with a Q right in the middle of it. Lyndon Gill, Everell, Elise, Osman, good to have you. Coral Providence. Edel Rodney's on the live tonight. Haven't seen that name go by in a little while. Edel Rodney on the live tonight, folks. And just for Edel, ring the bell one time. Yep, ringing the bell one time for Edel and for all the other folks. We pull it back for you. Let's see who else we got tonight. Ayindi Griffith never misses a beat. Ayindi must message me. Message the Ayindi. Please and thank you. 627-6963. Message me, Ayindi. Please and thank you. Glennis, good to have you. And Glycis and Debbie. And I see Julian is here as well, folks. We're happy to have all of you in the ring. Why don't we get to it, folks? Why don't we get to it? We got to find character set. Was holding for a couple of you to make it in, folks. But we don't want to be too late now. Dan Gibson, how you doing? Reggie and Penelope, Shauna, Quanamingo, Chammy Gibbs, Paul Bourne. How you doing, Paul? Season's greetings to all of you, folks. Welcome, welcome, welcome in the ring, folks. I'll show you part of what makes it, the season has begun at this end at least. This end, Winella Garnett, Volmay Rawl, and Leslyn Edel, and all the other folks who are joining us, guys, we're nothing short of privileged to have you folks with us tonight. The opener as we begin, the opener tonight. And if it's Monday, folks, we got a press conference out of the WP. And I know, as a matter of fact, I'm certain of my doubts. I know that the WP, the Working People's Alliance, wheeled into this issue, the cash grant, head on. They didn't play around, right? Was it never see come for see? They dealt with it head on and spot on. You know, we were told on November 14th that by month 10, that's what they said. We ain't lying for nobody. They said by month 10, cash grant and ready. Public servants' name get called. Right? Public servants' name were called. Pensioners' name were called. And then they said they're gonna take a look, see, at other, at disadvantaged communities and so on. And persons, well, folks, it's December 2nd. It's December 2nd. Savage result, and nothing can do it. WPA went into it frontally. You can't shock, wrong, go wrong, come wrong. Dr. David Hines, folks, during the press conference today, that Working People's Alliance laid it out where we are in this cash grant fiasco. 200,000, 100,000. By the time they're done with you, all the money going to medical expenses has been shaken. Every day is something new, something different. The Working People's Alliance, Dr. David Hines. Take a look.
As is far too commonplace nowadays, the second vice president resorted to a foul and tiresome tirade too commonplace using and cuss down of WPA, which publicly called for the authorities to publish their due diligence findings and report on Car Powership, whose ongoing electricity dealings with Guyana were being publicly addressed. WPA takes the Vice President's response to our request as a lame effort to disguise the reality that in the face of Car Powership's tarnished reputation, no due diligence has been done. This is nothing short of a scandal which has become the norm for this government. WPA invites the President, the Cabinet, members of Parliament, and above all, citizens of Guyana to take careful note of this display of incompetence, slackness, and gross negligence, which put public funds at risk. The cash grant fiasco. The abusing and cuss down referred to above raises in proportion to the frequency of the force displays of official incompetence. The handling of the ongoing cash grant is real-time proof of this. Birth as a pretender universal basic income, in a matter of days, if not literally hours, the cash grant was no longer rooted in a defined needy poor grouping of Guyanese. Instead, the two prerequisites to be an eligible voter, that is an ID and a passport, and age 18 years and over, were substituted. With its voting feature now at the forefront, the cash grant has become a potential vehicle for electoral hustle and plain thievery. The timeline for distributing the funds keeps shifting by the day. Like Christopher Columbus, the government belatedly discovered that it has to go to the National Assembly to appropriate the necessary funds. Then it discovered that some of the funds has to be included in the 2025 budget. WPA will not be surprised if several other discoveries are made before the end of the year. It is abundantly clear that the government is out of its depth on this matter. First, it has no technical knowledge about cash transfers as a form of universal basic income. Second, the so-called cash grant is not linked to any serious socio-economic outcomes. Third, the grant was never meant to help Guyanese mitigate the mounting cost of living. Fourth, it is not part of a serious initiative aimed at giving Guyanese a share of the country's oil windfall in a structured manner. Fifth, the absence of a feasibility study and or a pilot study invariably lead to the current confusion. Sixth, serious policy initiatives of this magnitude simply cannot be a function of political gimmickry and half-baked economic theorization. WPA says that this cash grant fiasco proves beyond the shadow of a doubt that the PPP and the government are incapable of managing our emerging oil and gas economy. They have no serious plan. When their rhetoric is placed under the microscope, gross incompetence emerges in reckless abundance. The vice president then resorts to his usual cussing out of the messengers rather than admit to his government's failure. Governance by cussing out should not be normalized or rewarded. In the meantime, WPA reminds the nation that our cash transfer proposal in the form of the Buxton proposal is in the public domain. WPA is prepared to meet with political parties, including the PPP, trade unions, professionals, and other stakeholders to discuss our proposal with the aim of arriving at an agreed national plan on this vital matter. Our two dogmas are that the transfers must be linked to poverty alleviation and it must be enshrined in law.
Yep. Welcome back, folks. Government by can't work. It can work. That was your if you're now joining us with WPA laying it out. It cannot work. Gross negligence, dereliction of duties, the amount of iterations, simple process has had. Today we were talking with public servants, talk with folks in the city. People say they don't know what's happening. We spot checks and post office, talk with pensioners, confusion. People are so unclear as to what's happening. So even on the care tonight, Jagdeo, of course, on the care tonight. And then we got some things international we're going to be looking at as well. Folks, welcome to our broadcast. If you're now joining us, we ring the bell one time for you folks. Hammond's Park light up over the weekend, which signals the official start of the season locally. And we want to bid you all season's greetings, folks. Season's greetings. If they wouldn't, flag us for copyright, we'll play a Christmas carol for you beautiful folks. Season's greetings officially. That is the Hammond's Christmas tree. We're going to try to get a better vantage point of it later on. But let that suffice for now. Season's greetings to all of you. We hope you all break away and you're wiping the walls and scrubbing the floors and everything that is a good old Guyanese Christmas. The pork set and the gingerbread set and the fruit set and everything set for a wonderful season in spite of trying to raise the pressure with this cash grant. And I agree with every word Dr. Hines has laid out there. So season greetings, folks. As we get into it, let's start internationally. We saw U.S. President Joe Biden. This has been the talk on the international scene today. President Joe Biden has pardoned his son, Hunter Biden. We're seeing some strong criticism from the Republican. They know they're able. They know they're able with all the things that Trump has done. All the things they could be presenting strong criticisms on pardoning Hunter Biden. And you all know they want Trump coming to pardon the people from January 6th. So who are we fooling? Who are we fooling? Biden has justified the pardon, stating that the justice system has been compromised by political interference, leading to what he called a miscarriage of justice. Which father having the power to pardon his son would do something different? Donald Trump, of course, he called it an abuse and miscarriage of justice. It's a miscarriage of justice on both sides. Yep. Donald Trump, folks, coming back in a couple of weeks. All the best to Hunter Biden. Stay on the straight and narrow. We wish Joe Biden the best. Wish Trump the best too. For all of our sakes. You all see what's happening in Aleppo there, what's happening in Syria? My God. Heaven help all of us. Help all of us. Son of the soil, folks. Things happening regionally. We saw Eddie Grant receive, I think, Barbados' highest honor. For a foreigner, highest honor, very own. I don't know if his own women. It's our very own folks. One and only international superstar, Eddie Grant, received Barbados' highest national award at its independence ceremony over the weekend, folks. Highest national award. This is the Honorary Order of Freedom of Barbados, the OFB, the Order of Freedom of Barbados, and only 3 distinguished individuals thus far during its 58th independence anniversary received this highest honor, the Order of Freedom of Barbados. Congrats, Electric Avenue. Congrats. Anytime we see a flag flying high, Barbadian flag flying high, we salute the individuals. This is the 58th independence anniversary of Barbados. Happy anniversary, Barbados. Look how we're growing together. So nice, huh? So nice. Right? So nice. 58th independence. Yep. Music legend Eddie Grant. Right? And they said also the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi was also recognized alongside entrepreneur Richard Edgell for their significant contribution. We want to say congrats to all of them. That's happening across the pond, folks. Across the pond. Like I don't want to come home sometimes. Let me just keep circling. Like I want to land sometimes, Let me just keep, just keep circling in a holding pattern. Once you come into 592. Yeah. Let me shout a little bit. The police are telling us they've issued 4,000 traffic offenses tickets within the last week. 4,000. Some of y'all them roads out. Some of y'all roads out there, Call them and go up now you have a ticket there. Andrew Griffith, Colonel Smith. Colonel Smith says real confusion over here. That's why I want to come. That's why I stay circling with a holding pattern. I just want to stay circling in a holding pattern. Today I saw Santa mixed with somebody, a hybrid. A hybrid Santa. A hybrid mixed with somebody. In Bartica, see people giving up the Bartician citizenship, revoking, self-revoking. Oh, that's the primus. Rock and come in. Things tight in this country when people can't afford the whole Santa suit. So they go for take what they get. All right, this money. Take one. Santa mixed with this money. Animalism is this here now? Sadomasochistic Christmas you all having here. What's going on? Bare confusion. 4,000 folks. That's what the Ghana police force telling us. 4,276 to be precise. Over the last week, what y'all doing in them roads? I can show you just now. Pack of nonsense. Taking innocent lives. This is between the 24th of November to 30th. 4,276. Bare wildness on them roads out there. Madness. Key infractions, they tell us. Listen to this. Brace it over. Key infractions. Folks, y'all behave yourselves, 791 cases of speeding. So long, let me arrive alive. 791 cases of speeding. You got a speed demon in this country, You got a speed demon in the 791, 190 tickets issued on Heroes Highway alone. And that's the road y'all should be taking your care and caution on. One, it's a road named after dead people. That's number one. Even though there are fallen heroes. That's your first cue. And then every day the road's sinking more. Them roads sinking, especially by the bridges. Especially by the bridges, simulated waves. Take your time with it. What's the matter with you folks? 190 on Heroes Highway alone. 297 violations. Failure to wear helmet. Allowing pillion riders without helmets. 192 drivers not wearing seat belts. What's the matter with you? What's the matter with you all? Packed, overloaded, improperly packed, and overloaded construction lorries, 76. 76. Don't go away. We deal with Jagdeo and some monsters. And Aubrey from New Amsterdam. So the monsters Jagdeo creating 276 road infractions. And Friday into the weekend, tragedy. We lost a young man from Linden, Ezekiel Smith, 19 years young, from West Watuka. He was a pillion rider on a motorcycle that collided with a car on Washington Road. Mackenzie. Yep. Dead. Gone. The car was driven by a 21-year-old. The rider, person riding, operating the motorcycle, the motorist, as it were, 23 years old, are young people. You see how we're losing them? One of the reasons why we just wanted to stay in a holding pattern. And then 3 souls lost as well over the weekend. Folks, slow down. Please and thank you. And let me arrive alive. This is the St. Cuthbert Mission Pukuri. Woman, daughter, granddaughter perished in a horrific crash over the weekend. Horrific crash. Olive Andrews, 60 years old. Her daughter, Athena Andrews, barely 29 years of age. And her daughter, Emma, 7 years old. This is on the trail leading to St. Cuthbert Mission. This horrific tragedy struck. Folks, Guyanese at home and abroad, slow down and let me arrive alive. Please and thank you. Slow down. So what a deadly weekend. Deadly weekend for Region 10. I got to double check to see if St. Cuthbert Mission catches the boundary there for 10. But clearly, on the periphery of Region 4 and 10, 3 dead alone, 1 family. Olive, Athena, and Emma, and then the young man from Linden. And as if that was not enough, too, you had an industrial accident over the weekend as well. Believe it or not, over the weekend as well. And like all industrial accidents, all you're hearing from the Ministry of Labor, they've launched an investigation. Parbadan Rampasad lost his life. He was escorting construction materials from DSC Construction. He's a resident from Bell West Housing Scheme, and he was fatally injured, as we said, transporting a machine roller on a lorry driven by his employer, Deodat Charan. This occurred in Canal Number 2 Road, West Bank, Demerara. Preliminary reports, they tell us, indicate the Rampasad became trapped between the truck cargo body and the machine roller. This huge machine roller, during its transit, and despite the immediate efforts, he was pronounced dead on arrival at the West Demerara Regional Hospital. Folks, please, slow down out there and let us arrive alive. Please and thank you. One weekend, Friday into Sunday, and we lost 5 persons there. Right? We lost 5 persons, even on top of the fires over the weekend. We even going to tell you about the fires. So slow down out there, please and thank you. And let's arrive alive. Well, everything is hustle. Hustle Nation. 2 businessmen, they're telling us, arrested. Ganja found on their premises. One of the things there they found was a little questionable. Right? Over $270,000 was found. I mean, is it criminal to have $270,000 on their premises? They found 79 grams of marijuana and over $270,000 in cash. This is not $1 million. This is 3 cash grant and somebody spent $30,000 from one. So they found. I don't know if that's a criminal, because the same way you found $270,000, you can say, well, I find a bed, a wash pan, a bucket. I know, but 79.4 grams of folks. You can't do the time. Don't do the crime. This is what Region 1 police telling us. This is the Berrima Winey region. They've arrested 2 businessmen, Lancelot Glenn and George Whitaker, 40 and 31 years of age respectively. 79.4 grams. The science has overtaken us on this issue, and we're still lagging behind and trying to catch up. Some country would laugh at us arresting people for marijuana. Would laugh at us, but it is what it is. And while it remains criminal to have this amount of marijuana, folks, if you can't do the time, we say again, don't do the crime. You'll understand why we just say that holding pattern. Because once you come in for landing, you may not like everything. You just may not like everything. Ever learning. But when you come into the knowledge, when you get drilled down in some of these stories, hustle. How officer things tough. Your worship, it was only a fine hustle. Some of the things you hear, if you had $1 for everyone, fire folks, Ghana Fire Service telling us they're better equipped. I want to demonstrate it in more fire prevention than containment. Public relations campaign, and not only the burden of it on our policemen and women, the Ghana Fire Service, but also us as citizens. We got a little jug about somewhere in here. Also with us as citizens, taking heed, taking caution. More of us got to do that. They're telling us that they're improving and advancing their capabilities. Look, sorry here now. Yeah, they send this one now. well timed. I got something by my foot if I stare up and he know. Since it's a shh, they're all gone. I ain't gonna say though. Ghana Fire Service they're transitioning into Ghana Fire and Rescue Service. It's the right time with this cash grant fiasco here. Rescue. The way this economy going. Right? They say this is an evolution and includes the integration of emergency medical technician. Okay, you have us there. For on-site rescue and medical care. All right, go down the line now. What else? On-site rescue and medical care. This is according to Robeson. Yeah. Robeson rollout. Folks, you see, this is part of the continuous development to meet the challenges posed by high-rise building, fire, agricultural expansion, and global warming. And we happy with them. We happy for them. So I guess we can see now less of arrive on scene and fire hydrant and working. Right? Arrive on scene and no water in the tender. I hope that is what it translates to. Right? And not just ministers arriving on the scene and watching on aimlessly at buildings while buildings burn. While Rome burns, they're twiddling the thumbs. I hope it translates to more than that. I mean, holding pattern and we won't come in heavy. That's part of the reason why, folks. Depressing. 1 year later, what happened to the black box? We commemorated the 5 fallen heroes heading to our western borders. Helicopter went down. But what were the circumstances? How those 5 soldiers lost their lives and that fatal Ghana Defense Force helicopter crash, December 6th, last year. What were the circumstances under which Lieutenant Colonel Michael Charles, Colonel Michael Shahood, retired Brigadier Gary Beaton, and Lieutenant Colonel Sean Welcome lost their lives, and Warrant Officer Class 2, Jason Khan? What were the circumstances surrounding that Bell 412 or 412 helicopter going down. What were the circumstances? Hear them telling us there has been unanimous acceptance that the men died serving their country. I wonder what the black box say. I think Guyanese are unanimous in that as well. What did black box say? Folks, our thoughts and our prayers with all these families who lost loved ones. You got a member of the government, I think she's a consultant, she's a advisor, Jennifer Westford. She had a loved one lost in this. To survive, we can't hear from them 1 year later. What's happening here? Guyanese at home and abroad. Again, I say humbly, we set the bar too low for this administration. Black box, they tell us, are made strong and sturdy because they expected that they would have to endure tremendous impact. This aircraft wasn't obliterated. 2 were found alive after the crash. But a black box stronger than bones and flesh, still in speaking, just like the 2. Alive and well. We big. We big. But we got sense. Asha, Gloria, Minerva, Bantu King, we big. We big. We got sense. See, Bantu says the black box in a vault. Same place that hiding Jagdeo relatives. Same place they were hiding the black box there. You know, I'm tempted to believe that. See, once you come in the 592, once you come in 1 year later, is that acceptable? Whether you're a supporter of the current government or not, is that acceptable? Talk to me. Is that acceptable? I don't think so. I would hate to believe so. Jagdeo and the monsters. You know, it's do till you overdo. That's always typical of the PPP. They do. Until you create some Frankensteins you yourself can't control. Be careful, Jagdeo. Be very careful. Be very careful. Be extremely very careful. The things the PPP want to try is not an exact science, you know. You don't know how the thing can pan out on the next side. It is not an exact science. Monster number 1. This seat here, you had a gentleman's agreement that the Joiner Party, the new movement, a new and united Guyana, liberty and justice, they can pool the votes, get 1 seat in the National Assembly, and then they can rotate. That's it. We know now, thanks to GCOM, that seat should have gone to 1 party only, party with the most votes, liberty and justice. Anu was supposed to come in second with the second largest amount. And I said, all right, Asha's a lady. We don't want her to serve the shortest time. We hold her so dear. Listen, eat her food now. Make her bread. The only thing is that Asha won't come out of the seat now. Dr. Asha Kisoon, he won't come out of the seat now. Now, we have seen so many blunders with GCOM. You think Asha on her own, he won't come out of that seat? The PPP instructing the speaker not to move on this matter here. This is high-class wickedness. This is high-class illegality in the National Assembly and affront to the Constitution of this country. Monster number 1, the lines will change wailed into this issue over the weekend, Friday, and said that GCOM no longer has its confidence. It has no confidence in the leadership of GCOM, and that they should do the right thing, beat out, especially the one who swing. Do the honorable thing. Take your leave. You had a good run. Oh, oh, oh. No other country on earth would you see this. Diplomatic missions must laugh. Nigeria use. Lead up the Alliance for Change.
Some 4+ years since the announcement of the results in the 2020 election, some 4+ years since the identification and swearing in of members of the National Assembly, some 4+ years since members of the National Assembly have sat and deliberated upon various matters in the National Assembly, and some 4+ years since there have been debates on various proposed legislation, bills, motions, and definitely in excess of a year after one member of parliament took her seat in parliament, the Ghana Elections Commission has now found it possible to inform us that the person who occupies a seat in the National Assembly, who has voted on bills, who has participated in debates about legislation and other matters, who has asked questions as a member of the National Assembly, the Ghana Elections Commission has now said that that person sits there as an imposter and without any lawful authority. They have finally admitted that the error is theirs and theirs alone entirely. So effectively, the Ghana Elections Commission has allowed a member to sit in the National Assembly, participate in deliberations about matters of the highest importance to this country, and now finds it acceptable to announce a year later that that person had no authority whatsoever to sit there. This kind of conduct, this complete and absolute negligence, this reckless disregard for the laws of this country, for the integrity of the National Assembly, for the necessity to make sure that persons who are appropriately elected and appointed to the National Assembly are entitled to be there, that we have now reached a stage where we are being told that we're not sure whether the people who are sitting in the National Assembly are properly there. The Alliance for Change has lost complete and absolute confidence in the leadership of the Ghana Elections Commission in relation to the administration of electoral matters. Who knows what else they will discover after 4 years? And worse than that, when we are approaching perhaps one of the most important elections in the history of this country, that they have finally admitted to their gross negligence, that we should allow them, or that they should be allowed to enjoy any trust in relation to any matter that impacts the conduct of elections. Whether it's biometrics, whether it's registration, whether it's registered address, any of the issues that affect the future of this country, those which require an interpretation of the law by GCOM, which by its negligence has admitted that it has made a gross error, leads no one in this country to believe that under its present leadership, it is capable of delivering anything looking like a credible election. And before we get to the election day, that it is capable of interpreting the laws of this country consistent with what is set out in the laws. And therefore, in those circumstances, we believe the leadership of GCOM ought to do the correct thing and tender resignation, lest we be led down a path of further ignorance of what might have been an illegal act. This must be a gross embarrassment to us in the Caribbean, that we have had a member of parliament or somebody sitting in parliament who ought not to have been there and who is there purely as a result of the actions of GCOM.
Yeah, we couldn't say it any better, folks. We could not say it any better. The National Assembly, and GCOM, and the PPP conspiring for this monster. Jagdeo monster. Number one is plenty of them. We ain't got the time for touch everybody now. It's plenty of them. Number two, they wanted it and they get it. And they're able now This is the man who used for confidence motion. They wanted government and they got it. I thought everybody would be happy. Far from it. Far from it. He gave wrong bag. He went India, he gave High Commissioner. He didn't like that. He come back now. He's a lawyer by training. Now he's masquerading as a contractor. But abusing out other contractors. He said then he like what happening is the enemy all sorts getting contracts. Those with political affiliations getting contracts. This is Guyana, folks. Compliments of the People's Progressive Party. Monster number 2. Monster number 2. Calling on the PPP for people getting contracts who shouldn't get road contracts and so on.
Tarandas Prasad, the member of parliament who voted to support the opposition in a no-confidence motion in 2018, offered a reason for his vote.
These were yes men. They sold themselves out to the Apnu people. We were an independent party. And today, if AFC had stayed separate, we probably could have been a major opposition or government. I did that to remove the AFC from office, from political office. And that I've succeeded in.
But he was also critical of the situation involving contracts awarded by the present government.
Things that are happening around here with the PPP that I'm not happy with. We'll leave that for later, after December. After December 21st.
One striking example.
The issue of contracts, road contracts in particular, to people who have claimed that they crossed the floor from PNC to PPP. One of them is Aubrey in Amsterdam, and you can quote me on that. That man gets road contracts left, right, and center. And the contractors who are diehard PPP supporters are getting these $15 million projects, and some of them are not even being paid attention to.
He said that this speaks to the stupidity of the people issuing the contracts. But he got a $50 million road contract. He admitted to knowing nothing about building roads.
We finished that road in September, 2 months after we got the contract. Mobilization money was paid. You know what they're doing? There's a man named Omar Narain in housing. He's the director. Omar Narain is withholding 10% of the money that I should have made on that road, which is probably all the money. Because on one of these road projects, you make 10 or 12%. That's all the money you will make. Contract law does not allow for that. And what does Omar Narain know? He's put there by the PPP. And he is just a regular joker as far as I'm concerned.
He said that the decision to retain 10% of the contract sum is unfair and maybe illegal. Prasad said that one Omar Narain didn't turn up for the early morning meeting called by President Irfan Ali.
And he's still sitting there as director. If I am your boss and I ask you to come to a meeting and you do not show up and you never make an excuse or offer an excuse, you're sick or something, I will fire you.
He's bitter about the retention fund still being held.
I could take them to court and win. Do they want a court fight with me?
Do you think that this is a problem that's multiplied?
No, but I wrote it on Facebook. For all the contractors who get road contracts from housing, they will withhold money. And that is illegal. I said, if you want us to take them to court, I will do it for you free.
He contended that anyone can get these mini contracts, but he alleged corruption in the contract awards. Prasad said that 2 companies are 4 months behind.
We have this company and this company. 2 companies here did not complete their road and 4 months have expired. Guess what? One of the engineers who is supposed to be issuing these contracts and supervising the contract, he owned those 2 companies. He stood up right there and he said, they're my companies. And he's still the engineer. And those companies are still going to have time to complete it. That is the shit that I can't see happening.
Tarandas Prasad, the member of parliament who voted to support the opposition in a no-confidence motion in 2018, offered a reason for his vote.
Our apologies there. The fella who almost single-handedly handed government to the PPP He said the APNU doing such nonsense, especially AFC. He said he grouses with the AFC. Bring back PPP. And that's what he said. Now the PPP come back, he like it. You all understand? Dr. Harry Tech too. He didn't happy with AFC. He didn't happy with APNU. He said, bring back PPP. I bring them down. Masquerading himself like a hero. They give you a brown bag. Let's say take a posting in India. Give you a lot of land space. Put you far with sheep and goat and cow. Go to India. He ain't happy. He come back. This monster. They give you a $50 million contract to build road. A lawyer. You see? You happy with that? You think the problem is the AFC, really? He got a chasm so deep in his soul. Only God himself. It's all them demons boiling up inside the heat. Such a void and emptiness. A posting to India couldn't fill. A $50 million contract can't fill. You look at me, see who else getting what. I deserve more than this. I want an $800 million contract. How boredness get $800 million contract. And I only get a $50 million. And I get these people the whole government. This one here, the people put Omar Narain. Housing, your name getting called, as that Mel called it. It's your boy Charnas. So Omar Narain. But is the AFC really wanted to hurt? But he's still hurting. It makes me remember what Dr. Stephen Covey says. Hurting people hurt people, and they are easily hurt by them. It might take a little while to catch it there, spit it. Hurting people hurt people, and they're easily hurt. He's still hurting, you know. He thought selling out the government would fill the chasm. He tell him what? Commissioner, $50 million contractor. He still want more things. You could put Everest in there, it won't fill it. You could put the Konuku Mountain Range in there, it won't fill it. Put in Kaikoral, he hold too big, it won't fill it, that chasm. Too big. Monster number 3. So monster number 2 run out. And folks, monster number 3 run out behind him. Because you see, he named the call. All these fly-by-night contractors, unqualified. That's what Charles said. Not even doing the roads and the pump station well. This is the kind of fecal matter. So he named the call. He named the call and he answered. Folks, in no other country. Monster number 3.
You know, Chandas is a lawyer by profession. I don't think he has done anything that was noteworthy as a professional, as a lawyer, I must say. But he's now a politician and a contractor and knows everything. You understand? Knows everything. Lawyer by profession. Never really met any thing for himself as a lawyer. Right? Not noteworthy. I don't think he did major cases or set precedences as it relates to law. that were noteworthy, but he knows a lot now with everything else, other than what he is should be a professional. Bear in mind, this traitor, because I dep on the traitor side with he no hero for me. This traitor, you can hear the story with he contract. He got road contract. After he was sent to India for represent them, tell a woman why she don't go and let dark section, all kind of thing. You understand? While being a representative of Guyana in India, after we do, they awarded him for going to represent me, not realizing, banner like them, they get him a land till behind God back, a big piece of land. Let him mind cow and duck and sheep, and let it stay away from humanity. Them banner there, you may tell you, poisonous. Them snake that when you cut off them head, you got burn the head because there's still a bite. You think the snake dead? No, once it got a fangs, you have everybody story, but snake was still got the poison, you chop off the head. Them now. Are them kind of snake that? Sharon does. Now hear me say, everybody can talk what they want for talk. Me give me personal opinion with he. Not a cup of coffee. So serious.
Yeah. You can't make this up. You cannot make this up, folks. But how the states is like it's changed people overnight. See the man developed a kind of aristocracy like the late designer Lagerfeld. Hair pulled back in one. Like soon as you meet the states, your bird nests get sorted out. Americans say only one Don King here. Do you hear that? Sharon Dance is now a snake. Sharon Dance. Perhaps if attributed to nobody else. Single-handedly, perhaps. Single-handedly, perhaps. Brought us to where we are. In many ways, good and bad. Because if it wasn't for Sharon Dance, he wouldn't get an $800,000, $800 million contract. Could you imagine that? If it wasn't for Sharon Dance, he wouldn't get a second $600 million contract. If it wasn't for Sharon Dance, his visa probably still be revoked. If it wasn't for Sharon Dance, God of his mercy, he would still be crying. Say, "Oh, Granger, sorry for me. Oh, Granger." But the man said, "Sharon Dance." Snake, call it snake. You all understand where we are? Man said, so now you're inviting harm. He says snakes like they cut off the head. Pun them. Jagdeo monsters. Bun them. When cut off them snakes' head. I thought all of them on the same team. It was just my impression. Now all of them on the same team. Do you see them snakes? Cut off the head and burn them. If I said about Nandalal, Jagdeo, police at my door by the time we come off this show. Say inciting violence. Different strokes, different. The man said, "Don't even trust China for coffee. Don't even trust you for coffee." We didn't like what we had. We didn't like what we had. We didn't like it. Here's where we are now. Here is where we are. Unfortunately, remember I said they get loan from Exim Bank? The lie. They said Barbados didn't get a loan, but yet on the Exim Bank Facebook page, you see them signing a contract with Barbados for 500 plus million loan. They said they get the loan, but we don't see no evidence of that. Folks, the closer. The closer. The hybrid from Bartica. They say the people in Bartica waiting for this 100,000 cash grant. Christmas comes, things got to do. They got festivities planned for the kids and so on. Over time, Santa suit wear down. You got to improvise with what at hand. You don't have money to import and buy and all of that. You use what you have. So they had a Santa suit. Whole Santa suit, parts missing, and had an Easter bunny. What do you do? This is a toss-up. They should have West bird nest. What do? You get a hybrid. A Santa bunny. Is it a bunny Santa? What do you call it in Bartica? We hear this how people now giving up the Bartician citizenship. Now that's a place I wanted to retire with a little waterfront property. But I gotta consider that. Yeah. In any other country, somebody would have stepped in and said, no. We either going as Santa or we're going as an elf. We either going as a bunny or an egg. No, Guyana. We can make it do. These are people who throw back and build house. We may be onto something here, folks. We might be onto something. We got hybrid. Santa mate with a Easter bunny. Santa bunny. Hybrid. Monster number 4. Monster number 4. They said it was a PPP party. Monster number 4. The closer. Jagdeo Exim Bank lie. Monsters and lies. Take a look, folks. The closer.
The U.S. Exim Bank will meet again in just over a month. Whether it will look at Guyana's application for the gas ashore project will be known. This is according to former Minister David Patterson. And the project is limping along, he said.
Despite having spent 58% of the project sum for the power plants, recent site visits, and which is one I did personally, has shown that not even the foundation for the plants have been completed. We also note that the government has since changed their tune, which they started in 2020, moving from a promised 50% reduction in rates to be paid by consumers for electricity. And they're now saying, obviously, the project will significantly reduce rates.
He said that this is proof that the financing model for the project is flawed. Vice President Jagdeo had announced that the Exim Bank had approved financing for the project. This wasn't true.
The likely implications, I do think, is that the people of Guyana to see the type of individual who is heading the oil and gas sector. But it's no surprise. I mean, he has been a spinner of wide and strange yarns his entire political career. Several of his pronunciations have proven untrue. This one will be as well. There's none. I mean, when asked about what the process is and who provided him with the details yesterday in his press conference, he waffled a bit. The Exim Bank, I do think, probably would have taken note of his statement, and they should do what they have to do.
Where you are in active negotiations with a financial institution, especially at a national level and international level, and you go out into the market and make a statement which might be mendacious and which clearly is incorrect, and it causes people to react or act based on your representations, which are false, it has unfortunate consequences.
That was AFC leader Nigel Hughes.
Wild and strange yarns. Wild, wide, and strange yarns. Folks, we're going to leave it there tonight. That's our time and that's our program. Thank you, folks, for joining us. This damn fly. That's our time. Jagabatical PPPNZ. That's our program. Stay safe. Stay safe. Thank you, Angela Ben, for being here with us tonight. Pinky Haley, Ray Andrews, Rohan, Marlin, Edward, Reggie, Jamal. I tell you, I had my thing locked and loaded. Auntie Sandra Hanover, Coral Providence, Bonita Parker, Everett, Brian. You're flying now. Now why you fly?